So for many people, hiring is hard enough. It's a daunting enough task, and unfortunately, way too many people just go and type a whole bunch of rubbish into Seek. There's a lot better way, but there's also a very specific reason why we need to make sure that we're always doing 2 ads, not 1, when we're hiring our new team member. I'm going to go through it right now. All right, so you might actually be listening to this or watching this and thinking, you know what, Jace, I just don't like hiring in the first place. You know, find it hard. It's challenging to, put forward, to talk ourselves up or to say and do what we think people want us to. Maybe you find it difficult to put it all together. Maybe it's just that you try to say that you don't have time to do it. Look, there's a load of reasons why. But ultimately, there's a couple of things we must keep in mind early on. First and foremost is 92% of our learning and learning stimulus and our ability to think creative and innovate and take steps towards change come through visual stimulus. It's why when we're learning, things like flowcharts work well. It's why visual models work well. With all the clients that I coach, I certainly don't sit there and just say, do this, 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 this. We always have a model. We have, I've got multiple models that have got international business awards that have, people have seen what they are and how they work and just go, these are amazing. And so when we start to recognize that, we need to make sure we have a model. First of all, we need to have a model to follow. But secondly, we need to make sure that if that's how we learn and we create and we innovate, and we know that this happens across the board with everyone in all avenues, then it does just show the power of being able to put something visually and aesthetically pleasing to those people that are prospective team members. So what I'm saying here is we've got to be looking towards doing video ads. Now, we know that videos are watched about 8 to 9 times more, even just on something like Facebook. So although your strategy may not be to do Facebook ads, although there's some really awesome ninja skills that we've got in the background with what we've been doing with clients, the ability to use free groups, association groups, groups that your colleagues have, and putting those type of avenues out are an absolute essential way to get people's eyes in front of what you're wanting them to actually see. Now, we actually did something about 2 months ago where we actually checked out about 30 or 40 colleagues of ours, spoke to them and found out what it was like when they saw a written job ad or a Seek ad. They see a notification on Facebook, someone's posted in a particular group, they click on the notification, they see that little pink slide come up about seek.com.au, and then there's this first line or two of absolute fluff about how friggin' amazing they are, and it's not even about the person. But we also know from that every single person scrolls forward. But when you also look at this is also a big challenge for a lot of people because you're actually now not even getting in front of the potential people that are exactly who you're looking for. Because we know that stats say more than 60% of jobs actually go to people that weren't actively looking in the first place. So if you're in a situation where you're trying to pitch this to, and cast the net really wide to hundreds, if not thousands of colleagues, then you want to make sure that as many people as possible can look at this. Now, if we know that more than 60% of people that actually take jobs and apply for positions weren't even looking in the first place, then what was it that actually got them to stop and think about moving positions, moving jobs from what they were doing to what they are now doing? Now, ultimately, at the end of the day, it has to be something that is appealing to them. The challenge is, if your ad is written and it's got the big Seek logo and things like that, then what we actually know is that the vast majority of people, if they're not actively looking and you see something like a Seek logo or a job advert, you just scroll straight past because you're not looking. It doesn't appeal to you. It's like putting out content to clients about knee pain and how to deal with knee pain. If there's someone that has no knee pain, their knees are fine, and the worst they've been dealing with lately is just some neck pain or headaches. People don't really care. You're not hitting the mark. It's not the right target. And so first of all, we need to realize that if we're trying to speak to people that aren't actively looking, if you wave a big banner in front of them saying, hey, we're advertising for a job, we're looking for a new team member, then more than 60% of people that do then take those jobs aren't going to go any further. So what is it that's going to get their attention? And that's ambushing eyeballs with things that move, aka video ads. So let's just get that out of the way first and foremost. You have to be doing something that's going to, in the first 2.6 seconds, ambush their eyeballs, grab their attention, and be able to actually engage with them. So let's just park that. That's a no-brainer. We now know that we need to be doing not written ads, but we need to be doing video ads first and foremost. Secondly to this is that you have to stop and understand that we are in a situation where you are the one that's on display. You're the one that's pitching your team and your company to them as well. Remember, more than 60% of people aren't looking. So if you're expecting people that aren't looking to actually want to engage, take this process further, ask questions, get in contact with you, shoot a application video, send a cover sheet, send a resume, email you, ask for more information, then you need to have done something that's going to have actually piqued their interest. So being boring in what you're actually putting forward and talking all about yourself and your team and how amazing you are doesn't actually satisfy what's in it for them and doesn't take them any further. So you've got to get this mentality, and we see it all the time in the health and medical field where people are always wanting to interview colleagues. They're wanting to test them out. They're wanting to find out what they do in difficult situations, work out whether they're a good fit for the team, whether they align with our values. Well, here's the scenario. The vast majority of time, you're only going to get a very small number of applicants. Even only getting 3 or 4 applicants to a job situation in the health and medical industry is not a great situation. It's not a huge pool to be choosing from. You could get an absolutely great person. You might try and convince yourself of all these things, but at the end of the day, there's a vast majority, great situation to prove that the people that were actually going to be the best fit didn't actually take that process any further because you weren't speaking to them in the right way. You didn't pique their interest. You didn't grab their attention and say, hey, this is for you. So just keep in mind, second of all, that this is about your business being on display. It's not actually about them trying to impress you and put their best step forward so you can select them. We're going to pull our head out of our own backside here and realize that the vast majority of reasons why more people didn't apply in the first place is because we haven't actually understood that we're actually auditioning to them. You're actually auditioning your team and your business and what you do to them in the first place. And if you did a good enough job, they might take it further. If you don't do a good enough job, then they're not going to take it any further. You don't hear from them. And we start making up these ridiculous situations in our head about how, it's not the right time, or the industry saying that, or the new grads here and there. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we then see a whole bunch of people, including some of the people that are self-proclaimed awesome leaders, blah, 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 resorting to things like Seek because it's the wrong time of year to hire and things like that. Ultimately, if we're playing above the line, we need to actually realize that no, it's not actually the wrong time of the year. There's not a problem. Let's stop making excuses. Let's actually understand that we haven't said and done the right thing to pique their interest, ambush their eyeballs, and get the right people that we're looking for interested to even look to audition us even further. Because when they then do engage, we can then obviously take those steps forward. So secondly, we must understand that we need to be putting the right steps forward, and we're actually auditioning ourselves, our team, and our clinic to them in the first place. Third thing that we need to work to, and this is the whole crux of it, is we need to put at least 2 different ads out there. If you think about a bell curve, we always know that no matter what you say and do, there's going to be 10% down the left-hand side of that bell curve that don't like you, that think that everything you say is silly or stupid. Maybe they're jealous, maybe they're, it doesn't matter for what reason. No matter what you say and do, 10% of people are just not going to like you, not going to like what you say. Big deal. On the other end of the bell curve, though, no matter what you say and do, you're going to have 10% of people that love you. That doesn't matter what you say and do. They think you're fantastic. This is a great opportunity, etc. So let's cancel those out to start with, right? But we've got to realize we're now pitching towards that big middle 80%. And we've got to start looking at the early adopters. We've got the people that already might be tending towards liking who we are as a great opportunity. Others might not even know they're looking for a job, etc. So what we need to be able to do is actually utilize two different strategies to actually pitch to the different people for the same position. You know, we use this exact same strategy when we do video ads for like our rural clients. You know, some of the time we need to actually be able to pitch the lifestyle, the fact that it's on the, you know, the beautiful south coast of New South Wales, and we want to be able to show the mountain biking tracks and the walks and the beautiful views, and the fact that the clinic's 250 meters from the beach, and it's like, you know what, during your lunch break you can come and have a wander down here, or you can, you know, change. We can be quite malleable with our work hours, so you could go for a surf during the middle of the day, right? If we're going to be able to look at that as a lifestyle change, a sea change, etc., and get people to come to the area, then we need to be able to show those things off in a video ad. But here's the thing. The exact person we're looking for may actually already be from that area, may already know about what's there. You don't need to then sell that area to them. What you're actually selling to them is the opportunity. Maybe it's a growth potential, the career pathway. And so as a net result, what we're going to say to that person and the language to communicate needs to be completely different. So first of all, let's get away from the written side of things. Let's ambush eyeballs. Let's make sure that we understand that we're the ones auditioning. Let's not make excuses for not getting a lot of interest and bites, because that's on us, not on them. But the main thing is as well, once we get through those first two steps, is we have to have two video ads. We have to have two amounts of copy to put forward, so we speak to the right person in the right way, or they disengage. We found this out the hard way several months ago with one of our clients that we did this for in a quite rural situation out from New South Wales and Victoria. And when we were putting that together, we actually had someone turn around and contact us and say, you know, wanting to know more information at the 11th hour. And we'd almost gone ahead and completed the hire and all these things when this person came forward, and we had to stop the process and roll forward again with it and scrutinize through this process whether they were the right person. And fundamentally, when we scratched that itch as to why it took them so long to actually apply, that it was clear and simple. They simply turned around and said, I'm from this area, I moved away to go to uni, and when you put a video ad out that actually spoke to trying to get people to the area, I got bored. I was hearing about all the things that we could do, and I was thinking to myself, I grew up here, I know it's here, like, what are you doing? And it felt like you weren't talking to me. It felt like you were talking to someone totally different, and so I didn't apply. So when someone is open and honest, it's just like, boom. That was a massive breakthrough for us to understand that this is a huge catalyst as to why someone may not apply for your job, may not apply because you're actually pitching to them in the wrong way. So you've got to really stop and understand, what are you actually pitching? Are you pitching a career pathway? And if that's the case, we need to have two different ads. One might be for the, experienced long-term campaigner. The other one might be for like a new grad or someone that's only been out for 2 or 3 years. The language, what they're looking for, what you're trying to put forward must be totally different, which means two ads. If you're going to be looking at a rural location or somewhere that's out of metropolitan cities, then you've got to be in a situation where you're not only pitching for the person that already has come from that area, that knows about that area and more likely to move back to that area and be a fantastic asset to your team, but also for the people that don't know anything about it, and you're using the, maybe the environment, some of the opportunities as a lure to move to that beautiful area. So regardless of what it is, there's always going to be two different people that you're trying to talk to. And you need to be able to speak to them in different ways, with different language, with different words. It's a whole premise of neuro-linguistics programming, aka NLP. So have a think about it. If you're going to be hiring, make sure that you don't go through those silly things that we spoke about earlier on. But when you get to doing the ad, you've got to have two ads. You've got to pick one for part 1 and 2 for the person that's part 2. And you've got to be able to capture those environments, because you're trying to get spread that net as far as possible and get as many different people looking, but you've got to talk to them in the right way, because at this point of the hiring process, you're on audition and you're auditioning to them, not the other way around. I'll talk to you again very soon. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Profitable Practice Podcast. I would love nothing more than for you to be able to leave a review. I get so much joy out of listening and reading the amazing things that you guys say about this. So please subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's get some more fantastic information out there so all of us can grow the industry together. Cheers for now.